Hi, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. For Thanksgiving, let's do a true high proof heavyweight battle between these two bottles. In this corner, the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C924, 129 proof, and in this corner, the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, 134.6 proof. Both excellent bottles. We did high proof battles with this benchmark full proof. Both of these bottles beat this out, but again, that wasn't even the point of this. The point is that this is around a $23 bottle in New Jersey. This is $79 Elijah Craig, and this is there is one place that actually had it for $55, but generally this is about $69 to the 70s. So big price difference. So we know the deal with that, but I want to kind of put these two that won those battles right head to head. These are fairly close in price, but there are some differences. So in this corner, the Elijah Craig, this is a Heaven Hill product. This is 11 years, 0 months. This is a mash bill of 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. And this is a batch product. This one is obviously a single barrel. It is barrel proof, and it is 134.6 proof, so it's a few proof points higher than this one. Non-age stated about 4 to 7 years, so the Elijah Craig has the age. Mash bill 80% corn, 8% rye, 12% malted barley. Very close in mash bills. And this has a Lincoln County process with the charcoal mellowing. This does not. This is Tennessee. This is Kentucky. So before we get into it, what you have here is you definitely have the age in the Elijah Craig, and obviously no Lincoln County process. You have a little more proof with the Jack Daniels with the Lincoln County process. But it's kind of interesting because if you really break down the mash bills, all else aside, you have 2% more of corn in the Jack Daniels, and you have 2% less rye, 2% more rye. So it's 78 corn, 80 corn, 10% rye, 8% rye, and the malted barley is the same. So the mash bill is very, very similar. So really, the two real factors are going to be, aside from wherever the barrels are aged and the fact that you have a single barrel batch, you have the age here, 4 to 7 years, 11 years here. Lincoln County process, no Lincoln County process. So I think this is actually a pretty cool battle when you really break it down with such close mash bills. Let's see what the effects of age, single barrels, Lincoln County process, if that has any effects at all. And I think this one actually would be good to do this blind, and then we'll see what we get. So let's pour them up, mix them up, and we'll see what we got. Okay, so we have them all poured up, mixed up, have no idea which is which. Just want to make one point. So we're going to do this blind, and we're going to see what the differences are, what we prefer, and we're going to go from there. But understand that each of these batches is different, and each of these single barrels is different. Whatever the results of this, because I have a feeling this is going to be really, really close, because I love these both. But whatever the results of this is, these results could be different with a different batch, different single barrel, because every single barrel is different, and all the batches, some are similar, and then you have something like last year's C923, which I only tasted once, never had a bottle, but only a sample, and it was better than any of them. And honestly, I had the the C523, the B523, which I thought was fabulous and even better than this one. So, these differences could vary, but let's just use this as as kind of like a marker as far as what we prefer in terms of this batch and this single barrel. So I'm going to look straight ahead. I didn't really notice much difference in the color, but we'll go from there. So remember we're dealing with a little bit of a difference in age. No, not real much difference in proof in the batch versus the single barrel. But I think the real difference, aside from Lincoln County process, is the age. And you have a little more than 5 proof points difference. So I do have some water here. So let's just first give this a nose. Okay. Wow. This one, that one actually, I felt really go up my nose into my head, but might have inhaled too much. Okay. I'm thinking this is just my first thought. I'm thinking this might be the Jack Daniels. but I could be wrong. Probably am wrong. Let me reserve judgment for the palate. Let's go with the palate. We're going to do this one at a time. We'll have water in between. Cheers and happy Thanksgiving. Okay. Cheers. You know what? Let me not have the water in between. Let me just try this again. Okay. Both really, really good. I'm just going to say I think this is the Jack Daniels. And I'm right. Now, what did I say? I thought this one actually had that was where I was off. I thought this one, it might just been the way I inhaled, but this one was like, for a second I thought it had more proof just by the nose. It does not. This is the Elijah Craig. So that being said, I can pick it out, but I like to kind of say what I prefer. It is very, very close. And what it gives to Jack Daniels is there just is that slight, I don't know what you call it, maple. You do taste that charcoal mapling just a little bit. It's just a little subtle, a little more of that. Sometimes I get like it's going to sound funny I say this, but like a cigar note on this one. Otherwise, those are kind of the distinct differences. But let's just make sure. So we have them on the right side here, so that's fine. I just want to kind of taste a little bit more in terms of the age. Wow, this is so good. Let me just drink a little bit of water and be right. All right, I had some water. I just kind of went back and forth a little bit. It's so close. I guess, I think it's very tough. I went back and forth with this. I may give the edge ever so slightly to the Jack Daniels single barrel proof, but that's just if you really are really forced to make a decision, and that's actually the one that's technically younger, but a little bit of a higher proof. But they're so darn close. Again, you get the little subtleties with the charcoal mapling, the charcoal mellowing. We say mapling, charcoal mellowing. This is just, I would really rather say this is a toss-up. I could probably do it a few times and probably go back and forth. But the deal is this, unlike with the benchmark foolproof, these are relatively more, in the similar type of a price range, type of a proof range. And yeah, certainly the benchmark foolproof is a great value for the money. And really, both of these beat that out. That was $23. These are more, but I might give the edge here, but I can go back and forth, and I can tell you for a fact that if you get a different batch, you get a different single barrel, these results will be, probably will vary back and forth. But let's, short of maybe the edge here, I would almost call this one a draw. So very good. Recommend both of these. More importantly, have a great Thanksgiving with your family, your friends. Enjoy today and have a great weekend. Take care. Cheers.